I don't know how you do all this. Everybody's on.
Hello. What's going on? This is the December Book Troop live show for Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. And I'm being joined by not only my sister and Hank, but also my mom. My mom was like, yo, I will read it. And we were like, all right, yeah. So mom was able to read it within like the last couple of days. And so she decided to join us for this live show, which I'm so excited about. This book for the book troop is the only book that I have read before. So this is one that was chosen by my Patreon. I had them vote on 3 different books for the December pick. And so they were all books that I've read before and that I gave 5 stars to. So this is definitely one of my top favorite thrillers of the year. But I'm really curious because I don't actually know how my mom feels about it yet. I know a little bit of how Rachel feels. But yeah, so oh my gosh, thank you, Kyla. Your hair looks amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Hello. Thank you so much to everybody already joining us in the chat. How's it going? What's going on? Okay, so then maybe if you are here because you have read the book, maybe you can put a little like, isn't there like a wave emoji? Like a little like beach wave emoji. Maybe you can do a wave emoji if you're here because you've actually read the book. And then if you have not yet read the book, maybe you can do like a black heart or something, just so I can get a quick visual.
You're not watching on our phone.
What?
I mean, emojis if you're not.
Or just put haven't read it or have read it.
There's a lot of
there's so many waves.
There's some
we've got
waves happening here.
Wow, there's so many waves.
There
Okay,
is
I'm glad people have been able to read it. I just want to get an idea of who's, because we're not going to jump into spoilers right away, so you can hang out if you haven't read it yet. But okay, cool.
Gavin hasn't read it
Okay,
yet?
Gavin's got a black heart.
Gavin,
what's up? Okay, so and then while they're doing that, would you want to give a spoiler-free, just kind of synopsis for anybody that hasn't read it yet?
No.
And they have no idea, like, what even is this book? Like, what's going on?
So I can either do a dramatic reading or I can.
Ooh, okay, yeah. Do we want Rachel to give her own synopsis, or do we want her to do a dramatic reading of
Kind
the
of tradition,
synopsis?
I do a dramatic reading.
Yeah, it is kind of tradition.
Does this one have one?
I know, it's on the inside page right here.
So you guys say, what do you want?
Rachel is so shocked.
We have what?
Oh my god. Reddit can't find a wave. That's totally fine. We got waves. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we want a dramatic reading,
Okay, here we go. After years of avoiding one another, Daisy Darker's entire family is assembling for Nana's 80th birthday party in Nana's crumbling Gothic house on the tiny tidal island.
Ooh.
Say that fast. Tiny tidal island. They're finally back together one last time. When the tide comes in, they will be cut off from the rest of the world for 8 hours. The family arrives, each of them harboring secrets. Then at the stroke of midnight, as a storm rages, Nana's found dead. And an hour later, the next family member follows. Trapped on an island where someone is killing them one by one, the Darkers must reckon with their present mystery as well as their past secrets before the tide goes all out and all is revealed.
all is revealed.
And then with Wicked Wink to Agatha Christie, Daisy Darker, unforgettable twist will leave readers reeling.
Why is there so much alliteration in part of it?
I think when you read it, you don't get that, but when you read it out loud, it's like crazy.
Slay, Rachel, come through, Rachel.
Now you want to read it, right?
Oh my god, Rachel.
Yeah, that makes me want to.
All you black hearts want to read it.
Yeah. Why is Rachel's reading literally giving me? Oh my god, take your face. Why are you reading it?
I know, he's unbothered.
He's just like scared.
Pink is an unbothered king.
He's just loving it here. Oh my god.
Yeah, mom providing the sound effect.
Don.
Hello, Gabby. Yeah, Rachel's playing this. I love how dramatic. Oh my god, imagine Rachel being an audiobook.
Oh, that would y'all would fucking turn that off.
Oh my gosh, no way. No way.
You guys would have it like 3.5 speed.
Oh yeah.
This is way too dramatic.
She reads fast.
my god, I love it. Yeah, Tank is just vibing, you know, nothing but vibes.
Let's see how long we can go without snores.
I know, my
I'm
god,
trying.
so
I'm
fun.
trying to keep him awake.
he's just sleeping, like living his life. Oh. Okay, well, cool. There you go, it's sold.
There you go.
Amazing. Okay, well.
Tell Alice Feeney to pay me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alice Media credit where credit is due. Wow, look at that. You convinced Gabby to read it.
Yay!
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Cool.
Well, sweet. Okay, so if you are watching and you have read the book, I would love to know your ratings, your thoughts on it. If you can just drop your rating out of 5 in the comments in the chat so I can pop some on screen. I'm very curious to see how people are feeling about this one. I feel like for the most part, a lot of people are enjoying this one. I've noticed, at least through the Discord and like on, Instagram when I do polls and stuff. I've noticed that this one seems to be on the higher end. Like, it's rare for me to see ratings below 3 stars for this one, so that makes me happy.
So no pressure.
So no pressure. But I would love to know. I mean, if you did give it lower than that, let me know because I would love to see.
Yeah, let's see it.
And that would be nice. That would be nice because that would probably be the first time in this whole year of your book trip.
Mm-hmm.
Really? I mean, it seems like.
I mean, yeah, no, because every other book sucks.
Yeah. So I'm like, wow.
Okay, then while they're doing that, do you want to start with your rating and then just kind of a general like why that's your rating?
Okay.
Yes, kick it off. Kick us off. Yeah, no spoilers yet, but kick us off.
Okay, so I guess I initially was gonna give it like 4.5, 5 stars, and then once I finished it, I gave it 4.
Okay. And why did it change?
The only reason was because some of it has just a tiny bit of filler that was kind of boring and were not really relevant.
You sound so like a professional.
I felt like,
reader.
what? Okay, and then not to like,
go girl.
I'm not gonna get into spoilers or anything, but I kind of had one little tiny gripe about the ending, but I did like the story to back it up.
Okay.
So like, I have reasons.
We have to do that.
But 4 is still very good.
No, I mean, yeah, 4 is great.
It was good.
Sweet. Okay. Yeah, I'm still seeing a lot of mixed. There's a lot of 4s and 5s in here, a lot of 3.5s. But for the most part, I'm seeing pretty, decent ratings across the board.
Well, she's an amazing writer, so
yeah, pretty
cool.
cool.
Go wrong with her.
Not sure about that twist. That's totally fair.
Yeah.
5 big fat stars. Yes, Okay, Mom, take it away. Give me the rating.
Wow.
Give me the general thoughts.
Okay, we know Gabby gave it 5.
It was I want to say, kind of predictable in some of the parts that so I was thinking, what the heck is going on here? But I mean, the writing and everything, the storyline, I thought was, it kept me going, like, what the heck, And the ending, I felt different than you, babe, that I thought it gave it more rating. So I was going for 4.5, but I'm pretty sure it's closer to a 5. And I always change at the end of these live shows because then I start seeing other, opinions and stuff, and but I'm sticking with that for now. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, no way.
Even with the predictability factor for you?
Yeah. Okay. Because I didn't ever think I was right.
So?
I thought I was like, well, because I've always been wrong on those. And I even had to text you girls just so I put it in there, throughout the reading of some of the predictions I had, and I was shocked.
Okay, I see a couple 2 stars popping up.
We need to talk.
My all-time favorite book.
Oh,
incredible! It's amazing. I agree. This is one of my best book true picks, but I mean, I've already read it, so I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew that it would be for me.
But it's good to know that you liked it, so it made it,
Oh, this is so interesting. I hated the writing style. It felt like every other sentence was trying to be a quirky, deep Pinterest quote, and it had me rolling my eyes. Whole star taken off rating for that. Interesting.
Oh.
See, I like to hear things like this because I personally
really on my arm.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what a baby.
I'm not moving.
But yeah, I mean, as you might know, I gave this book 5 stars. It's one of my favorite thrillers that I've read this year. I just really loved this book. Like there was so much of this book that really worked for me. I loved the atmosphere. I loved the like stormy island vibes. I love that it's taking place on like the morning leading up to Halloween. I love following this family, even though I know this whole family's totally fucked up, but I loved it for that reason. Like it was so entertaining to read, and I just really like sympathized with Daisy's character at different times throughout the book.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Totally.
And then the ending, like I know this ending is going to be divisive and that a lot of people probably won't like it, but I thought it was so creative and unique, and I love that Alice Feeney went there because I feel like so many authors would be too scared to try to do a twist like this, or they would think it would like, you know, it would make people want to not.
That was a real good ending. I mean, there was a lot going on there. A couple of times I had to keep on going back. Okay, wait, what, you know. And so I had to connect the dots. And I think to me that's good writing because, you know, even though, you know, it's kind of had some ideas on things still, it wasn't that ending, that's for sure.
Okay, so I do have some general questions before we jump into spoilers. So I guess my first question would be mostly for you because you read Alice Feeney before, but I would say, have you read this author's other books? And if so, like, what did you think of them?
There you go.
Oh my gosh.
He's out.
But like, what did you think of them and how did this one compare? Like, do you have a preference for Rock, Paper, Scissors or this one?
Okay. First of all, yes, I've read Rock, Paper, Scissors, and it was a 5-star. I loved the isolation of a big part of it. I think that's something that, without giving anything away, I mean, her writing style is pretty much the same, which is why, and it's an easy writing style. She goes back and forth, so it really gives a lot of depth to the storyline and the characters behind it, and makes you constantly try to think of what the heck's going on.
So did you have one that you prefer over the other, or you like them the same?
To be honest, I pretty much think there's.
Which one would you reread first?
Probably Rock, Paper, Scissors.
Yeah.
And maybe kind of because I already read this one so close, but I think, I would, this one.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's preference and stuff, but yeah. It's a really, I mean, she's so easy to read. You know, I mean.
She's like female Riley here.
Exactly. I was thinking Riley is like the same sort of author where it's easy to follow and the storylines are pretty amazing. So
interesting. Yeah, I mean, I have read every Alice Feeney book that's come out so far. I'm like kind of a fangirl, you know, like I didn't really realize that I had read every Alice Feeney, but I have. I think she's come out with like 5 or 6 books at this point, and I think my top 2 favorites are definitely Daisy Darker and Rock, Paper, Scissors. And, you know, for a while, I thought I did prefer Rock, Paper, Scissors, but after, like, thinking about both of the stories more, I think I do prefer Daisy Darker just because of the atmosphere and the vibes of Daisy Darker. And, like, I love the kind of storyline where it's, like, people are getting killed off one by one and you're trying to figure out who the killer is. Like, I think that storyline is a little bit more appealing to me, but they're both really good for different reasons.
Depth to that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I would also recommend His and Hers by Alice Feeney. That's another one of my favorites from her. But, I mean, compared to her other stuff, like, I don't know, because I've also read Sometimes I Lie and then I Know Who You Are, and those are probably my 2 lesser favorites. But then I did like His and Hers. I would highly recommend that one on audio because that one has, like, a cool, like, third-person, like, serial killer. It's, like, from the perspective of the serial killer, but the voice is all muffled on the audiobook.
So that's
it sounds really cool.
Like the show You. Where it's really intriguing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Okay, well, sweet. And then I guess my next question that's still like not really spoilery yet is how did you feel about like the writing style in general and like the pacing of the book? Like, were there any parts of this book that you were just like, that is unnecessary?
Yeah, I mean,
You, right?
So I guess can you explain without spoilers? Like,
that's hard.
super.
Okay, well then I think we'll probably just go ahead and jump into spoilers then, because I'm sorry. Like I thought there would be more to talk about without it, but I do think just in case we get into anything that's kind of spoilery, I do think it would be best to warn you now. I think we will be jumping into spoilers, so if you have not yet read the book and you do not want to be spoiled, this is where we part ways. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so now jumping into spoilers then. Pacing. What was like some of your thoughts there?
Yeah.
What was some of the issues?
So I just feel like the one like gripe I guess I had was that I loved like I thought that the videotapes would mean more for the story because I was just kind of confused about like I was like, okay, like does this actually matter? Like and I guess with the plot and everything at the end, it didn't really like it was just supposed to keep your interest, but like it actually had no
The tie was at the
reason for the
very
story,
end.
and then it was like, so once I realized that they kind of had no reason for it, I kind of just like brushed through them because I kind of was just like, okay, you know, and then it's like you're really wanting to know what's happening, so you're kind of like reading faster through them, and they kind of just like had no reason. I feel like they were fillers just to like, just like so she could keep the book longer and not always just talk about the family, like trying to find the killer.
Are you talking about the poems or the like flashbacks?
The videotape.
The videotapes that actually,
like the actual videotapes, like watch me, whatever. And
Oh,
they would
I see.
play them, and it would be like a home video clip of them with like when they were kids.
Yeah.
And it's fine, but like it's just like it kind of was like like I was like okay,
Yeah.
you know, like when it got to the next one, I was kind of like okay, go to the next one.
and where they popped up at.
Yeah, like I didn't mind like the juicy stories of when they were kids, like. For example, like when she found out that she like cut her hair, or like,
Oh, that was
you know, like those were interesting, but I didn't like the ones that were kind of just like boring, like a birthday party or like it was kind of like.
I know. I think like the reason why those were probably included a lot was to show like the family dynamics, you know, and to show like the sisters' relationship and how it was at one point in time, especially like maybe before Connor was involved in their lives.
It's a unique writing style to bring that in.
Yeah.
But how it revealed itself at the end, the titles of them for how it ended in the book. You know, I mean, how they finally came back full circle as to why. And I don't know, some might think it's weak. Or
I mean, I totally get why they were there. I just thought it was boring.
And I would never have gotten that, you know. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but yeah.
God, Daisy, get away. You look up, get away, Daisy.
This is so interesting. How did you guys feel about the poems? Like, I thought the poems were really creepy.
Good.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, they're real creepy and so in depth. So one thing you would think it's a writer, for sure, because of, I mean, not just anybody
I thought
can
the
write
poems
that
were
kind of
good,
stuff.
and I thought it was weird that Daisy wasn't in it. I was so confused. So I thought like Daisy was a killer.
Exactly, I had that feeling too, because it just totally put her off to the side, and characters were more.
I thought it was weird too that like none of the family was like, why is Daisy in it?
Well, they would.
I know. I know, but that's confusing.
They focused on their selves.
Like I know why now, but I'm just saying like all through the book I was like,
well, if you saw that,
they really
would you
here,
look?
like,
You would look at everybody, but you'd look at what's happening to you, what's thought about you. I mean, that's just my feeling. And yeah, if you have that much time after you've been freaked out to go and look at everybody, you know, yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
No, I agree. I liked, the poems were creepy, and especially as they were like crossing out names.
Yeah, that was
like
great.
Oh, yeah, like, before they died. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Like, that's creepy. Okay. Well, interesting. I guess my next question that's kind of spoilery is, you know, how did you feel about Daisy as a character, and were you like rooting for her throughout the story, or were there any parts where you're like, I don't know about this girl? Or like, what were your?
We're going spoilers.
Yeah. This is all spoilers now. Just in case you're watching and you have
now.
not yet read it, this is all going to be spoilers from this point forward.
Okay, so I feel like I liked Daisy the entire time. I don't know. I felt like I mean, I guess it's like for me, I felt like she was like half the time just this huge mystery. It's like we didn't really like know who she was. She wasn't really like speaking, obviously, and the family like wasn't really talking about her, and she was kind of just like a fly on the wall. Like I guess it was. But I mean, you know what I mean? Like it was more like, who is she? What's going on? We didn't really know until we knew more about her heart, and then I was like, oh, okay, like.
I think the whole thing with her heart was the reason why I sympathized so much.
Well,
with her,
yeah,
because
but
was
like I just mean like it was kind of like still we didn't really like knew who she was. You're kind of like finding out like what is this big secret? Like why does the family not talk to her?
Yeah.
Like what's going on? So I thought maybe she was a bad person, but I still was like, okay, we literally have nothing.
And I felt bad for her too because she kept on dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
yeah.
those are things that are like, oh, so you're just drawn into her, poor thing, you know, what the heck? And with all that said, she's still like at the very bottom of the chart with the family. It just seems like she's an afterthought, you know, which is sad.
Well, that's why I think, like, I definitely noticed that the family, like, wasn't talking to her or, like, throughout the entire book. But then I feel like this on a reread would be so interesting because it's like, after you know, then wouldn't it be, like, so different? Because you would definitely pick up on those things a lot
I just
more.
thought, like, in my head, my big thing was, I just thought, like, the whole family's together. They're kind of all mingling. It's not really like, oh, Daisy just walked into the room, and now they're all like, oh my God, hi, Daisy.
Yeah.
It's more like Daisy was there first. They all were coming in, so they're all kind of talking to each other. That's why it was smooth on Alice Christie's part, because she was like, that was smart, because then you weren't like, oh, why aren't they talking to Daisy? You know what I mean? It was like more of a smooth way to like lean into it, but at the same time, I did pick up on the fact that they weren't like speaking to her, because she was like, me and Connor locked eyes. Did she say they locked eyes?
I know.
I think at one time.
And then he was like, oh, like they have to, you're okay. Didn't she say you're okay being, oh, okay, so Nana said you're okay being in Daisy's room, right? To Connor, and he was like, yeah. And then she walked up the stairs with him. But I thought, I could have sworn she said that we locked eyes. Maybe she did, but obviously he's like, no.
This is definitely a reread.
And then it's funny now that I think about it. Now it's funny the fact that she typed boo on his computer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, she's trying to fuck with him.
That's so funny. Yeah, but she's not trying to fuck with him. She doesn't know.
I know, but
you know what I mean. It's just so funny.
It's hard because you don't want to go right to the very end. But you know.
Oh yeah, I was confused when Connor and the sister said, "Could Daisy be doing this?" They did say that, did they?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, but obviously the Nana like totally believes in ghosts and all that. So like,
I mean,
they can say that. Like,
I think the premise of the clocks and Nana's history of every year getting one because she was supposed to be dying on her 80th birthday kind of sets the mood for, you know, what's to come, on top of Daisy saying, I've died how many times, and, you know, knowing that you're on this island or whatever that you can't get to with the tide and stuff. But Grandma was really quirky. Nana.
No, I really liked the grandma's character.
You have to clock in, you have to stamp in, like, time in. That part I thought was really clever, and how long it's been since I've seen you. It proved, you know. So in that part, though, I thought towards part of it was really trying to figure out when someone was going through her, ransacking her office and stuff, I thought, oh, someone's looking for their clock things that they didn't want to know that they were there. That's who was doing it. So they were, if that makes sense. That, you know, maybe she took it, or they, whatever. So, I mean, that was one of the things that could have shown who was in the house, perhaps. But,
yeah, that's so interesting. That's why they dismissed Daisy as a potential suspect so fast, because they knew she was dead. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to ask too, were there any characters that you couldn't stand so much to the point that it ruined your enjoyment of this book in any way? Or were you fine with like disliking certain people, you know? Because like sometimes when there's characters that I don't like, I like to not like them, you know? Like I like reading about them because they're still entertaining.
I get it. But Lily was such a bitch.
But was she so annoying to the point where you were like,
she's so fucking unnecessarily rude.
Very, very. But then,
like, what the hell, bro? Like, like I get some of them.
Especially how she treats Trixie.
That's what I mean. Like, what in the hell?
Right.
Yeah.
Mom, Nancy. Excuse me, not Mom, not Grandma. It's Nancy. I did not like her, and I'm pretty sure that's where she got it from. You know,
Yeah.
it didn't fall from the tree sort of thing. Cause,
For real Connor after you find out what he did.
Well, yeah.
Period.
oh, for sure.
Well, yeah, but Lily was a big tall girl.
Yeah.
I liked not liking any of them.
Yeah, the dysfunction in the family really kept it interesting. You know, who was there, who wasn't there, who was, you know, I don't know.
I love awful characters in books like this. Give me the tea. Oh my god.
Yeah, me too, but to an extent. Like,
Yeah.
Lily was just like calling her daughter fat and like,
Yeah.
it was just not comfy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like not tea. That was just fucking worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That was pretty rough. Okay, and then the next question I had was, I guess we kind of touched on this, but like, did you enjoy the flashback chapters, like that were specifically more of like, you know, Daisy's childhood, like the chapters where we kind of get, was it from Nana's perspective or was it from Daisy's perspective, right?
It was always Daisy.
Yeah, when she was growing up. But more about like the backstory of like her childhood. Like, did you find those chapters to be like useful and like necessary in the story, or were those the ones you were like skimming maybe, or like what were your general thoughts?
Well, most of it was about her health, I think. You know, so I think that's what drew you in to know what was going on with her during these times.
I like some of them. I feel like it kind of relates to what I was saying about the tapes, though. But I feel like some of them were necessary because you get to know about like her heart condition, and then you find out like some of the juiciest things from those flashbacks, like how like she cut her hair and then she cut her dress, and she was kind of planting the seed for like the sisters to meet each other.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, I still think the ones with like the videos were so boring. But
yeah,
the other ones, like I feel like the ones towards the end got really interesting. Obviously, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting to hear your take on it.
What
know?
did you think?
I didn't go into the depth of that. I thought for me it was just part of the storyline, and I kind of built the depth for me. You know, which especially at the end, it kind of all started making sense, and that's how I think about it. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely liked most of the flashbacks just because I feel like you need it to like care about what's happening to this family. You know, I feel like if you didn't have any kind of like flashbacks or like understanding of their family and how they function, then I feel like it would be harder to care about their death.
Try reading it without all of that and see how you're
Are you
connected.
supposed to care about their death?
Well, that's I don't know, but like
Understand why.
Care about Daisy's revenge story, or you know, care about anything
from her point of view, like, why they deserve it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and the part that with the Scrabble, oh my gosh, that was so creative.
Yeah.
Where they wrote the names out, or you know, that was pretty intense. I mean, I'm looking at it going, oh my goodness. Yes. But Daisy was the very last one also, because I was looking the order, because everything seemed to be going order by who's dying, and that was kind of interesting, creative too. You know.
Now that like we know the twist, I kind of feel like it's a little strange to me that the family didn't think that Daisy was all behind it, because they knew what they did, and they knew that this house is gothic and Nana seems very spiritual, and Nana was the one that loved Daisy. Yeah. And they knew what they did to her, and they knew Nana didn't like it. I'm like, in my head now, I'm kind of thinking, like, why wouldn't they all be like, yo, what the fuck, where's Daisy? Like, what's going on?
Well, I mean, they probably don't believe in ghosts.
I know, but you gotta, like, step out of real world for a minute and be like, consider this.
Yeah.
How? Like, literally, how is this happening? Like, I mean, I know we knew what happened, like, that Nana was behind it and, like, everything. But, you know what I mean? Like, at the time, I'd be like, we're literally all in the same room. How does this keep happening? Like, you know, like, a ghost would make sense.
Oh, totally, yeah.
Because, like, that's so confusing. And the fact that you knew what you did, you knew you had bad karma. Like, I don't know. I would just think, like, the universe is coming to get me. Like,
did you guess in the beginning, or that how it was going to end?
No.
I don't know.
I thought
so. How did you, like, just for the twist, you know, if you're still watching this and you haven't read the book, this is your final warning. Like,
Yeah,
this is
absolutely.
the biggest fucking twist,
Yeah.
and we're gonna spoil it. How did you feel about the plot twist that Daisy's actually fucking dead this whole time? This whole time she's been dead.
predicted it.
Yeah. Okay, so Mom fucking predicted it.
Yeah,
She texted me, Rachel, Daisy's dead.
Daisy's in purgatory, you know?
Like,
I mean, it's just because if you look back at stuff, how nobody would talk to her. She didn't get to do stuff. I mean,
It was the biggest expense.
I'm like, huh?
but it's like I'm thinking, and so I kind of went back a little bit and looked at my notes, and it started making more sense. You know, that, wait a second, you know, because that would be, because they go back and forth, you could totally maybe lose that part of it unless they went completely all the way without looking back in the.
But like,
70s.
when did you like put it together? That like almost right away, or like
whenever I text you, whenever that part where the book was, it's
Oh my
270 or
God.
something. And I was really shocked, but I think, gosh, I don't know if this is it, but it seems like. And what else
Yeah,
was it?
I mean, I did find it suspicious when the Nana didn't put Daisy in the will. Really, she like, it was like charity, right? It was like she's gonna donate to Daisy's favorite charity or something like that. And I was like, if Daisy was the favorite, why wouldn't she be in the will? But then I was thinking in my head, like, well, maybe something happened.
Yeah.
Like, I thought Daisy had this kind of like dark secret that something happened, and like
No,
it
yeah.
was the reason why she had all this stuff with her family. Like, they weren't talking to her anymore because of something she did. So like, that's where my head was at the whole time. So when it was revealed what happened to Daisy,
It makes sense.
oh my God, I was freaking shook. I did not see that.
But I think
coming.
the other reason I thought purgatory, because there had to be some other, is that Nana kept on popping up. All her, you know, she would have all these messages and everything. So maybe they were in the same place, and Nana was already dead. So it was like, perhaps. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I
interesting.
feel like it's hard because when you read a book after Gabby's always like, this is gonna be the biggest twist of
I know.
life, you know? So I was expecting a big twist. I feel like if I read this book and I didn't even know there would be a twist, I think I would be like fucking losing my shit. Because I was not onto it, even when I knew that there was gonna be a twist. And I kind of, I do this thing when I read where I don't read into it. I don't want to predict. That's my thing.
Yeah.
I don't like it because I feel like it ruins it. So I like do not like to think about it. I just fucking read. I'm like, tell me.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like sometimes making predictions can like take the fun out of it. For me, sometimes, especially if I end up being right.
Like the only thing I predicted was that Connor was his dad, but I feel like that's kind of obvious. But I feel like it.
When did you think it was?
I just thought, because it said sometime in the book that they didn't know who the dad was.
Yeah.
And I was like,
when
oh, come on.
That's when I got it.
Yeah, I was like, you're fucking
Because
with me.
and then you knew that they had sex.
Yeah.
And
Well, you didn't know
then-
that.
and
You didn't
then-
know that then.
Oh, okay.
When they said they didn't know who the dad was. So that's, but then
Oh,
when
okay,
they
that
did,
was way back.
and Daisy caught him, I was like, oh, babe.
And I'm thinking that is their secret, because I was trying to find out what's their secret.
Yeah, that's the
'Cause that's-
secret.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
that,
that's the
oh,
secret.
okay, like,
And then
she
more
caught him.
at the end, it was really revealing secret.
Oh my
So,
God, I could not believe that.
Yeah.
I literally, when I got to the chapter reveal of like how they killed Daisy, I literally was reading it out loud to Gabby because I was like, can you fucking believe this?
I know.
Yeah.
I could not fucking believe that Connor did that. I
Oh my
cannot fucking believe
That is like one of the most shocking moments in a book this whole year for me.
Yeah,
Is reading the scene
and
that
this
Daisy
is what I
died.
mean by this is what kept the 4 stars for me, because if honestly, I'm telling you right now, if this didn't have this story and she was just dead the whole time, it probably would have been like 3 stars or
I agree.
like 2.5 stars for me.
Yeah.
But this story was so juicy,
so horrific.
I was like, no fucking way.
I mean, just
Oh
all
my
that
God.
that whole chapter where
Like, how does
how
Nana
they were
even look at
working.
them?
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I would not. I would be like, you are getting shit from my fucking will. Like, you aren't getting anything. You are not even getting my existence.
But I love that too, like how the will and how she wrote it all out to him and stuff.
Like, that is
And then-
smart. The only revenge is death. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No.
But
No.
after she killed him and stuff, she stuffed his face with that.
With the paper?
With that, yeah, that was the picture that was taken supposedly from the office or whatever,
Yeah.
not
He
his
died
office.
eating his own words.
He died his own words,
Good.
and that's where it said revealed about the birth and he was the father and that kind of stuff. So I think that was kind of a neat way to do it. But yeah,
I cannot believe the amount of gaslighting this fucking Connor did, like, to these two sisters, being like, well,
you're gonna get in more trouble.
Yeah, well,
because you weren't watching your sister.
Yeah, even though he's the one drunk driving, he literally blames it on his fucking dad.
And his dad killed himself.
Yeah, his dad literally fucking killed himself over this shit.
Daisy.
And then Connor's like, oh, well, I don't actually have my license.
Yes,
I don't, like,
I didn't have my license.
Like, my license is starting.
Like, bitch, she's dead. And you're bad, you're not gonna get a job.
And he wants to throw her over the cliff.
I know, like, why would you
And he didn't even know that she was completely dead.
Well, yeah, she had her, like, heart thing, right? And I think
She
it was
died
something
one
where,
time. Another time.
yeah, where she was, like, I think she was, like, stunned in shock. Like, I don't know, she wasn't dead.
She just wasn't moving. Her pulse was slow because of her heart was stopping. And they just assumed Rose fucking always just thinks everybody's dead. So Rose was like, she's dead. And then Lily was like, okay, agreeing with Connor, like, okay, yeah, like, you're right. we should just throw her away. And then Rose was like, no! Like, whatever, right? Yeah. And then they were like, come on, Rose, we have to. But then Rose didn't stop them.
I know.
And then Lily and Connor lifted her up. Fucking, we're going to throw her. And as they threw her, her eyes opened.
That was like,
oh,
horrific.
Like, why would your first thought be to throw her off the fucking cliff? Like, I know
because they literally thought a car was going to come.
Well, I know they were trying to, like, cover their tracks. But, like, are you serious?
That
like, you don't know that she's dead. Like, you don't know that.
And you're not owning up.
And it wouldn't have been a murder on his charge. He would have gotten charged with a DUI and, like, attempted or whatever.
Well, he stole the car. He stole the car. He didn't have a driver's license.
And, like, oh, you're just, like, okay with that? Like, you can move on with your life knowing that you just threw your sister off a cliff?
But his sisters, too. Two sisters. Not one, but two. And all three of them don't care.
Oh, my God. It was so aggravating. I was so mad.
Yeah.
I was hoping it was not going to be what it was. Like it was all a dream or something.
And then I thought that, I told Gabby, I was like, when it said that Trixie had a heart thing, I was like, she's literally Daisy. She's reincarnated into Daisy.
Yeah.
Because like Trixie was conceived the night Daisy died.
Yeah, I thought that for a minute too.
And I was like, bro, it's written in the stars.
Yeah. I know that was one of the other questions that I did have is, do you think there's a possibility that Trixie is Daisy in a way reincarnated? Because like, it would make sense, right? Because
they have the same thing.
The night that Daisy died. She sees her only.
And they both have heart problems.
Wait, that's another thing that I thought was interesting. Was that they see Daisy right when they're about to die.
Yeah.
And so, okay, I thought it was annoying that Rose didn't have a reaction to the fact that Trixie was Connor's. Are you kidding me? I would be like blowing up in his face, like, you fucking slept with my sister, you have a kid?
Yeah.
I thought we were together.
Yeah, that was kind of just
Daisy was right. You guys made her seem like she was crazy.
Yeah.
Daisy was right. And then she sees Daisy when she's dying, and she says, you were right the whole time.
Too late.
Yeah, and it's like, bro, we didn't get any reaction from you.
Yeah.
And then that's it? That's all you say to Daisy? Like, oh!
I just poor Daisy,
that was
you
so
know.
sad.
I was just thinking, gosh darn, and nobody cares about her.
So pissed.
Yeah.
And her narrating, just seeing it from her eyes, what a shame.
Yeah.
Like, that would have killed me if I was Rose. Like, knowing that they were right, or Daisy was right, and then they threw her off a cliff. I mean, I know she fucked up. She didn't do anything about it. Like, I know Rose was in the wrong. Yeah. But, like, that would have eaten me alive, knowing that my sister was right, and then they threw her off a cliff. Oh!
I know.
I would not be able to live with myself.
Well, and just that whole night for Daisy, that was so awful.
Yeah, she got, like, sexually harassed.
She basically got, like, sexually harassed at this party, and she was a fucking child.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally a child.
Yeah.
And, like, after dealing with all of her fucking heart issues and, like, her siblings being pretty shit to her in general.
And, like,
then
you should be watching her. I don't give a fuck. Like, your sister's 13, underage, has a heart condition, drinking.
Yeah.
No. Like,
first time out.
Okay, I understand that it's Halloween and I shouldn't be doing this and, like, whatever, I'm a crazy psycho teenager, but no, I would stick by her side no matter what. Like, you're not allowed to fucking leave me.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot believe this.
Just proves that her
ridiculous.
Just proves that she was right, that no one cared.
I know that's so
I
true.
just
Daisy kind of being Trixie would also be karma for Connor and Lily. Like,
yeah,
straight up, like, your child
yeah.
that you made on that night is literally Daisy.
I'm sorry. Like, bro. What the
Wow.
fuck?
Go off.
I could not believe that. Like, shook my door.
So this is why you need all these life.
Aw, baby.
Oh man.
He gets so shook by this book. He's like,
Rachel Hope is here. This book was crazy. I absolutely loved it. I did guess that she was dead, but not why she was dead. And I knew it was the grandma just because I've read and then there were none. Oh, bumping up my rating to 3 now. Oh, that's fantastic.
I love too though how Nana I love how too that like at the end, it was revealed that like Nana couldn't see Daisy yet because she wasn't about to die, but then she was like dying. And then she could see Daisy, and she was like talking to her again, and like it was like
that was so intense. I know.
It was like poor fucking Daisy, and they're like, Daisy, you can go. I'm like,
I know.
I know.
That's sad.
Yeah, that whole scene
the
at
one
the
time
end.
she's being listened to and cared about.
Yeah, that was really beautiful when the grandma was able to talk to Daisy through Trixie at the end there. That was really cool. I know. I really liked it. I can see how people would like read that twist and just be like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like, because
that's what I mean. It had good closure.
Yeah,
like it had a good story. Like why she was dead. Like that was insane.
That's what I mean.
And then it had good closure with Nana being there for her when she like is crossing.
Yeah.
Because like Nana was the only one that gave a shit about Daisy. Like she should have been there.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that she was.
Trixie was too, though. Trixie loved her aunt.
Yeah.
I mean, that was some sign of hope for her. Both of them,
Well, that's what I mean. If this book just did the whole, like, oh, Daisy's actually been dead the whole time, over, I would have been like, what the fuck? Like,
no. That's what I mean. If it ended there on that chapter, like,
that's what I mean. I like seeing all of those, like, scenes that help give you closure to, like,
tied it up.
Yeah, I think it's for me, I'm not a big reread, but that's one of those, like, a movie where you'd want to see things you didn't see, and then it's revealed how everything really ties in.
I just don't get how like a family could be so fucking cruel.
Yeah.
But for what? And for what?
Okay, so how dysfunctional is it on her birthday? They all say how to kill somebody. Oh yeah, come on, happy birthday.
Oh yeah,
Nana.
they're like,
that was like, are you kidding me? And then so when each of them were dying, I'm wondering if that actually is going to happen to them. So I kept on trying to pinpoint that. So, yeah. That was pretty intense.
Well, see, this is so funny because Rachel's my younger sister. Everybody always says Rachel's older, but I'm actually older by 2 years.
Yeah.
So funny. Okay, and then one of the questions I had too was, this might sound weird, but which death was your favorite, or which death was the most satisfying? Yeah, because Connor was like the words being stuffed into his mouth and him eating his words. I thought that was freaking
Yeah.
But were there any other deaths that you were just like, oh my god,
Frank was funny. When Nana revealed how she killed Frank after when she came back, and she's like, and then I just beat his ass with his drink, right? Because she poisoned him and then he wasn't dying. And she said something like she punched him or something.
Nana.
Nothing. You have to get punched by your own goddamn mom.
I'm kidding.
You're like, not dying, babe.
Oh my god.
I love Nana. I mean, she has so much personality.
So funny.
How she painted the chairs all different for the kids and for everybody.
Yeah, the way the dad died at the piano. Yeah, the perfume murder.
Yeah.
Very creative. I agree that all these murders.
Was the name of the
actual. It was creative, but I feel like Lily deserved more.
Yeah.
More painful death. I'm sorry. I'm not one to be all like, but like I feel like Rose's was way more painful than Lily's, and Lily was like the fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Lily was like one of the main ones responsible for what happened.
Yeah. Like what the fuck?
Did any of you think more was coming out of the agent than there was? Because it kept on kind of building up.
I know. I thought the agent was behind everything.
I thought so too. I think I thought he was coming through to try to grab one of the.
And he never clocked out.
Yeah. See, that's why I'm thinking I tied that could have been part of like hidden somewhere in the library when it got ransacked. That's the point where I was thinking, okay, maybe it's him looking for a manuscript or something.
I know, that is interesting.
So that was my.
I just didn't give much thought to that character, to be honest.
No, and but he was the one that wasn't. He was briefly talked about. Then I was going back and going, where is he, and why did they put him in the storyline where it's not having a follow up? Because when they were talking about who would come to visit her, there's very short like list of people that would be coming to visit her. So anyway, yeah.
Isn't it so fucked up that after all Nana did for Connor, he fucking killed Daisy?
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I was so fucking pissed, because
She literally would go out of her way
Right.
to care for Connor,
And
then
like,
he's like,
and I actually really liked Connor's like relationship with the grandma when they were younger, or when he was younger, and the way she would kind of like look after him and take care of him when his dad was like not being there for him. Like, I thought it was so beautiful, and then that's why I felt so betrayed by Connor. I was like, are you fucking serious?
After all that he's done and he's gone through.
Yeah, and like how much
not to appreciate that sort of, you know. His mom died, right?
I think so, yeah. And then that's what caused his dad to have all the
yes, that's right. Yeah. So I mean, even more so being treated so nicely by, someone who's like a grandma.
Yeah, that was just so, so Connor was like the biggest betrayal and something that I didn't see coming. Like, I did not think that Connor was going to have anything to do with like what happened with Daisy there. Oh my god, then I would say he's mainly the one responsible for like, everything that happened to her, and like that's so shitty.
I mean, it sucks to know that your sister's like didn't try to save you.
I know.
But Connor is the fucking bitch.
And Connor was like the leader of what happened there.
And so Trixie finding out that her dad's right there. Hello, poor Trixie. Her mom dies. Her grandma
was
dies.
An actress. Okay. Trixie was an actor.
Yeah.
She was acting her ass off, crying like she cared about her goddamn family. That was so funny.
That comment too is so true, because Lily died because she was so vain. Why would she be putting on perfume when people are being murdered? And I feel like that's what makes Lily's death like so ironic and so like perfect for her character, because she is so vain to do something like that. You know, like she's so selfish, so like.
That's a good one.
Yeah, so I think that's.
I think it was just so her character. I didn't realize. I didn't put it together. That's how much she was. You know.
Yeah, that is so funny.
He's on some logs, that boy.
What the heck?
Oh, so far. It's a beautiful rainy day.
Okay, and then I guess this question would be for anybody that has read Agatha Christie. Like, do you think, or like, how does this compare to Agatha Christie that you read? Do you think it deserves to be like a retelling, or like, do you think this stands on its own, I guess, as a retelling? Because I know some of the complaints that I've had in the past, especially with, 9 Lives, was one of our booktube picks earlier this year, which was also an Agatha Christie retelling, and I feel like that book was everything that I hate about retellings, because it just felt so repetitive. It felt like nothing new. It felt like you're just trying to use Agatha Christie to like make this a thing and like, whatever. And so I guess I'm just wondering, for those of you that have read Agatha Christie, like, do you feel like this is a solid retelling, but also something that can like stand on its own, because I feel like it's so important for books that are retellings of something else to do something a little different, because
you think
there's no point in a retelling if you're not going to like change up the story in some way. And like for me personally, I thought this was like a really unique and fresh kind of retelling, especially because I feel like, there's so many Agatha Christie retellings these days that this is so, like there's just so much of it, so I feel like this one really stands out to me as something that was, different.
I know this is weird. Is this a based? Is it a thriller or?
Oh God!
Sorry, the coffee is done.
There's my coffee maker makes like dragon noises.
Is this classified as horror or thriller or both?
This one's a thriller.
Yeah, it was intense for sure.
Yeah, 9 Lives was the worst for sure.
But I liked how every hour, how they made with the clocks. Oh my God, that whole thing! I would just be. That creeps me out just by itself. But how everything happened on the hour, and then the chapter started getting about the tide, and that just builds that suspense. And oh my gosh, I mean, I was building up on that, and the weather being all crazy, on top of it being so loud that they couldn't, the rain and the thunder and all that kind of stuff. I mean,
yeah,
that makes it more interesting when you tie that in, and you can't leave. You're stuck. Nowhere to go.
Yeah, I agree. I've read a few retellings of And Then There Were None, but I still think And Then There Were None is like the best. But I don't know. I think this one definitely stands on its own. I would agree that this was like one of the better, or like the best retelling of And Then There Were None that I've ever read. Yeah, it's like One by One by Ruth Ware is another one. Oh my gosh, 1 star. I hated that book. And then, oh, sorry, so sorry. Oh my gosh, Justin liked 9 Lives. Well, see, there were definitely some people that enjoyed that one, but I think generally, like, I just didn't like 9 Lives. It felt too similar of a retelling, at least for me. But anyways, getting to the last question that I have for this live show is that if you read this book and enjoyed it, what would you recommend as something similar, at least like another movie, TV show, another book that just has like similar vibes, maybe that if somebody liked Daisy Darker, they might also like this other thing. And I know we just talked about And Then There Were None, so that's like an obvious one.
Knives Out.
I was going to say Knives Out.
Yeah, Knives Out.
And
Absolutely.
The Sixth Sense. Okay. That's just the
And they're having a sequel or something's coming up also,
Yes.
like 9 Lives, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Definitely, that's, I think, what we were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think Knives Out because of the whole like inheritance, family. There's
The will.
Yeah, there's an inheritance to be had, and people are like,
Murder.
yeah. And I think I saw so many for The Sixth Sense too, because I asked on my Instagram, I was like, you know, what movies or TV shows or books are comparable to this, you know? And yeah, I saw so many for The Sixth Sense, which I totally, yeah, I can see it. That makes sense. Oh, okay, the guest list.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is interesting, yeah.
That's the book we read, yeah.
Yeah, because that is, right, that's another Agatha Christie type of retelling where it's
Yeah.
like people are getting killed off one by one. I didn't even see
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
I can recommend No Exit, the book or the movie. Yeah, that's interesting because of the like atmosphere and the. I know Glass Onion is coming out on Christmas.
Yeah.
That's
what I was calling it.
Yeah, the guest list. Oh my gosh, that is so smart. I don't know why I didn't think of the guest list.
I don't know. I think maybe I did. Remember I was saying like the wedding one on the island? I think we were talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's island vibes, it's stormy vibes, and it's
all like within one day. Remember? Yeah. And it was all family and
only murders in the building.
Oh yeah, that one's
interesting.
I like that.
The inheritance games. Yeah, that's another one where there's like inheritance. People are getting murdered.
Yeah.
Jan, you need to explain yourself. Didn't really like Knives Out.
Okay.
What, sir? Excuse me.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Not to like.
Yeah, excuse
Chris
me.
Evans in a sweater and they are.
Oh my
Tony
god.
Collette. What? Daniel Craig.
The Stir of Echoes. I don't think I've heard of that. Interesting.
Bodies.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Family Game has similar horrible family vibes. That's true.
Jan literally said bodies. That is
yes. I know, yeah.
Bodies.
Well, because Bodies also has that trope of people getting killed. Yeah, and then you're trying to figure it out. So yeah, I mean, Bodies was good. That was like one of the best horror movies this year. Beautiful Mind. I haven't seen that either. The Paris Apartment has the locked room family vibes. Oh, that's true.
Gosh, there's a lot of good
Yeah,
stuff
y'all
out
got
there.
good ideas. I had 0 ideas. Family. Yeah, the Family Game is also perfect to read at this time of year because it's Christmas vibes. Like it all takes place around Christmas, so it's perfect.
Yeah. You know, Christmas is a week from today.
Oh my God, is it?
Yeah.
What?
I know. I was just as shocked.
Dang.
I know.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, on that note,
I know.
this note,
Day.
I think we're going to head out. Oh my gosh. Okay, your next movie. I haven't seen that, but I think I understand.
You're next.
You're next.
You're next, Lily.
Well, I think on that note, we are going to wrap up this live show. So thank you so much to everyone for joining us. I really appreciate you all for being here, for reading along with us this month. Thank you so much. Once again, thank you so much to my mom and my sister for joining and reading the book with me.
That was fun.
I love being able to have both of them on the live shows for the book troop. And I mean, of course, you know, Riley Sager's already got that book announced for next summer. So it's already pretty much guaranteed.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's pretty much guaranteed going to be a thing that we'll be
Love
reading
Riley
that.
Sager. Oh, bye.
Oh my God. So yeah, we'll be doing that for sure in next July, probably, I'm assuming is when that'll be. So very much looking forward to that. I actually think the new premise of this book sounds really good.
Yeah,
it sounds so promising. So So yeah, and I think that's a wrap. So thank you so much everybody for joining us. We'll be seeing you very soon in January for another Book Troop live show. We're going to be reading Wonderland by Jennifer Hillier for January. And also, Book Troop merch is now available. If you missed my announcement, we have 2 different designs that were designed by my sister. Freaking amazing, so incredible.
Really
I'll have to remember to leave a link in the description for that merch if you want to check it out. And then also, just another little side note promo announcement is that right after this live show, I'm going to be doing reading sprints on my Patreon with Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin. So if you would like to join us, we're going to be starting those in probably just about like 5-10 minutes. So if you would like to join, I'll have my Patreon link down below as well. It's available on any tier of my Patreon. And yeah, that is all the things. So thank you so much for being here.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
Happy
Merry
New
Christmas.
Year and all
Happy
that
New Year.
good stuff. Hope everybody's safe. And
Yes.
yeah.
Very much so. And thank you for being here. We'll see you soon.